Grading is an art and a science, and since the value of a comic book can swing hundreds of dollars, if not thousands, based on minor defects, it's important to get a basic idea of the process. What you'll do is take your comic and hold it at arm's length. You get a good view of it without inspecting it, and see if there's any major defects. The next thing you'll do is go around the comic book and identify different issues like spine wear or edge wear, possible small tears. No matter how small the defect is, it's going to affect the grade of the comic book. So once you've gone around the front, then go through the interior of the book and then move to the back. When grading any comic book, there are several things that you want to keep in mind as you go through the process. One is there's a grading scale that runs typically from 1 to 9.8. And that gives you the varying degrees of condition, which of course help you determine the value of the book. You also want to be mindful of the page quality. The pages can go from bright white all the way to brown. Within that, you have some other things like brittling, which can be damage to the pages. Another thing that you want to be sure is that your book is complete, and you do that by counting the pages. And to help you with that, you can go to comix.org, which is a great reference site for comics. Grading is the backbone of any collection, as it helps determine the condition and value of the collection. And having said that, we're going to look at 5 different copies of X-Men 140 to show you that scale.
Now we're going to look at a book in a good 2.0 condition on this X-Men number 140. So if you look at the spine here, you're going to see a long crease along the spine, actually multiple creases, and some spine stress as well, quite a bit of spine stress along the spine. In the middle of the book, you're going to see a long subscription crease, what's called subscription crease, which means basically when the publishers mailed out the books in the mail, they would fold the books in half. And so this is the result of that. In the bottom right-hand corner, you're going to see also more creasing as well as the top right-hand corner. The right edge is going to have a pretty significant tear right here. And you're also going to see some more creasing at the top of the book. And so this is a pretty low-grade copy, as you can tell. On the back cover, we flip it over, you're going to see a coffee cup style stain. Someone left their coffee cup on the book, left a little bit of a ring, as you can see right through here. And then also these very large tears that my fingers are lifting up, as you can tell. They're about 2 inches long for one of them and another ½ inch for the other one. You know, this book is very, very well read, very well loved, and this was what brings it down to a low-grade 2.0 condition.
Now we're going to look at a 4.0 very good X-Men 140. Overall, the book presents itself fairly well. It's got decent color, but as you begin to look at the book, you can see some heavy wear. The spine creasing and some spine ticks that go in on the book. The black cover is going to show starkly those different defects. Once we look at the back, you're going to see on the white cover, it's going to take a closer inspection. And you'll run into that same issue when the front has a lighter color cover. As you go down the book though, you'll see that the different degrees of wear. And you want to check your staples and make sure they're bound squarely. As you go around the book, you'll see similar wear all across the different edges. Some thumb creasing just where the pages were open and things like that. So let's look at the back cover. Again, as I mentioned before, the back cover, it's harder to see that same wear, but it's on the left edge as well as the top. But overall, it has a good presentation. This is the top end of the lower grades, but you'll notice as you go down the grades, those defects are much more stark. But this is a 4.0 very good X-Men 140.
So now we're going to look at a fine 6.0 grade on this X-Men number 140. So if you look at the spine here, you're going to see that there's about 8 to 10 spine stress or stress marks, depending on what you want to call them. At the top of the book, we have some creasing right through there. And on the bottom right corner, you're also going to see some another crease, a pretty long crease that you can barely see with the naked eye. So sometimes you'll have to hold these books up to the light to actually see the defect. Another defect you'll see here in the tree area, you're going to see a crease right through here. And that's about it on the front cover. So as you look at this book, you'll see that the book has nice eye appeal. It looks like a very high grade book, but as you look closer, you'll see that the defects bring the grade down to a 6.0 condition. On the back cover looks pretty nice. The major defect in the back cover, there's some staining if you look right in this area here. So in conclusion here, the grade looks much nicer as a 6.0 book should look, but the defects bring it down to this grade.
Now we're going to look at a very fine 8.0 X-Men 140. You'll notice the book has great color, it lays flat, it has a really nice presentation. Overall, it's an excellent copy. There are a couple of minor flaws that bring the grade down to an 8.0. If you look along the left edge, you'll see a couple of areas that give you some trouble, and it may take close inspection. You've got a bend right here, and then you've got two smaller spine ticks right below that. Once you notice them, they stand out, but not until you really inspect the book. And that's really all that's wrong with the front cover. As I said, it's a really great copy and great color. So we're going to look at the back cover. You notice the Lego ad is bright, the colors are vibrant, there's no scratches or discoloration. The only thing you're going to find wrong is we have what's called a thumb crease, where maybe somebody hit the top of the book, and then you have a slight bend in the top right corner. If any of those defects were not present, the book would immediately go up in grade and you'd have an even better copy. But overall, you've got a really nice book if you have an 8.0, very fine.
This copy of X-Men number 140 is in near minus 9.2 condition. It's nearly perfect copy, it really is. It doesn't have very many defects to speak of, so I'm just going to discuss some of the attributes of the book. If you look on the spine, it's nearly flawless. It has a couple small spine stress. The corners are very sharp. The edges are also very sharp. The colors are very vivid on this book. There are no other defects on the front cover besides a few small, very small spine stress, probably 1/64 of an inch or less. On the back cover, it's a very similar situation. You have a very white back cover. There are no visible defects that you can really see. The corners are also very sharp. The edges are also very sharp as well. So wrapping all this up, this book would be a 9.8 copy, except for the fact that it has just a few small defects along the spine that are really barely visible. And so as you can see, the difference between a 9.8 and 9.2 is extremely small. So you'll have to take that into account when you go through and grade a book yourself.
Now that we've looked at several books, we hope this gives you an idea of how the grading scale works. Hopefully this will help you deal with your own collection, and if you need anything else, please reach out to us.